All right, I don't even know what I'm going to talk to you about today. Actually, I do know what I'm going to talk to you about. Today, I'm going to talk about why you should work for yourself. Wait, no. Okay, today, I want to talk to you about why you should be working with a team and you should never work by yourself. Granted, you will start working by yourself in the beginning, but that you should only be focused on working for yourself for as short amount of time as you possibly can. The reason I'm saying this is because my entire life I've worked by myself, like on an island, and you know how that is. You're like, okay, I'm gonna block off all distractions, not spend any time with my family and my friends. I'm not gonna go out. I'm not gonna do Netflix. I'm not gonna do any of this. I'm Gary Vee hustle, right? And you get into this your own little like island. You start to push away all the things that are distractions, which is good. And you're just like, okay, I need to do this course. I gotta film all this content. I gotta create this content. I need to develop this website. I need to do all these things. Everyone is not good at everything, right? So you'll hit certain projects where you're just not very good, it's not enjoyable, and those are the times you stumble. Take for instance, if you're a photographer, if you really enjoy taking photos, maybe you hate editing the photos, or maybe you hate organizing your stuff on the computer, or maybe you hate even like coming up with a checklist to make sure that all the equipment that you have to go on a shoot is ready to go. When you work by yourself, you realize that like, wow, I can't do everything. So how do you get to the next level as quickly as possible without burning yourself out? This is where a team comes into play. I teach a lot about rapid skill acquisition in Bali. You can learn any skill you want in the entire world really quickly, like under 20 hours, and become proficient enough to it to where people are paying you for money. Now, the main thing about learning skills is you only want to learn skills that you have a passion for, you have an interest for. Because if I don't like coding, why the hell would I spend all my time learning about coding if I hate it, right? If you don't like digging ditches or digging shit, you wouldn't become the best shit digger in the world, even if they were to pay you a ton of money. Like, who wants that? So you want to develop skills in an area that you're interested in, or you were like, wow, that I would really like to learn how to do that, and I've never tried it. The same thing goes for building a team. You need to build a team around something that you're bad at, but something that needs to be done to move you to the next level. What is the one thing that you can focus on that will get you the most results? I talk about this a lot, but I want to go over it. It's called the domino effect. And I heard about it from Tim Ferriss. Now how it goes is, say you're starting a company. You need to do a website, you need to do a logo, you got to do some branding. You need to create photos and videos for the website. You need to do all these things. You need to develop the product, you need to talk to the customer, you need to do all these things, right? You put them all on a list. Boom, 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 boom. Everything on a list. Then you prioritize each one. You're like, okay, which one is the most important all the way to what's the most least important? Look through the entire list and think, okay, if I accomplish this, this would make everything else on my list easier or irrelevant. Then your only job, this is like the planning stage. You need to design and figure out what you're building, plan out all the steps that go into it, and then start knocking off everything on your plate, and like basically disregarding it and only focusing on the one thing that you need to do to move that needle. Now let's say you find something that you just hate. But if that is accomplished, it will move your company, your project, your whatever, it will move the needle to the next level. Here's what we're taught, and is that we have to do it ourselves. What I learned is that you can team up with someone, whether by paying them or trading a skill that you actually do enjoy. Those are my two favorite ways to acquire skills quickly, is by getting someone else to do them for things that I'm really bad at. And I acquire that skill by either paying for them, or I trade something that they want that I know I have, or I can find someone that can do for it. I'll give you an example. I need to have a website done, okay? I'm not a coder. I don't want to learn. I don't even want to design the website. So I need two things. I need someone to build the website. I need someone to build a design. What I can do is go out and find a designer and someone. Let's start with one, the designer. I'm gonna find a designer that I like, and and I'm gonna go to them and say, I love your design. I want to work with you. How much do you charge? If they give me a price back and it's out of my budget, then I start to think, I don't think, oh, one day. No, I'm like, okay, it's out of my budget. What can we do? I start to negotiate. What can we do to like reduce that? Let's say it doesn't come down enough or whatever. Let's say it's $3,000 to design your website. Well, I only have like 500 bucks. What can you do to help this person? Just ask them, like, okay, well, tell me about your business. What are you struggling with? A lot of times they have their own struggles that they don't want to do. So maybe I'm really good at photography and videography. I look at them and I'm like, hey, I see that you don't have a lot of video content on your website. What if I create some video content in exchange for you designing my website? I do this all the time. Let's say you don't have video skills, but then you realize that this person needs video skills, but you're like, I don't like to do it. I don't know how. You can now go and find someone that has video skills, but is being underutilized. So you can be like, hey, Joe, I noticed that you just picked up videography. I'm willing to pay you 500 bucks, which is what you initially have, to create a bunch of content for this brand. But just to be open, I want them to design my website. Maybe there's something we can work out together. So you just become like the central person to like trade and like mix and match people what they need, giving it to each other, and just trying to create value between several people's services to, you know, benefit yourself and benefit everyone else. This is super powerful because when you start to think it in this way, then every time you come up with an obstacle, you are not overwhelmed like, oh, you know, that he wants 3,000, I can't do it, I gotta make more money. I'm like, what? Think outside the box. We put too much emphasis on the actual dollar amount and not the value that each person has. My videos are less valuable for me because I know how to make them, but they're extremely more valuable than for someone else because they don't have them, and they know that if they have a certain video, just one, they can run ads to it and make a ton of money. So you need to look at like, what's the inherent value to yourself, and then who you want something from. It doesn't have to be a dollar amount. This is a really good way to acquire help for what you're trying to build without spending money. I'm testing this shot out now to make sure it's not out of focus because I have a Sony a7 III. And the Sonys don't have a flip around screen, as everyone knows, and this is annoying. So this is my test. Am I in focus? Because I've shot hours of video where I wasn't in focus.